Alright, so let's start by finding all of the possible rational roots. So P, our last number is negative 6. So the roots of negative 6, so I'm going to write that over here. So roots of negative 6 can be 1, 6, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 6, negative 2, negative 3. And then our first number is going to be a 1 because there's a 1 in front of that x cubed. So our roots of 1 are going to be 1 or negative 1. And really, if we divide all of our negative 6 roots by that 1 or negative 1, we're going to get the same choices above. So really, we just have those pink choices. So all of our possible rational roots would be 1, 6, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 6, negative 2, negative 3. Okay? So now we need to use synthetic division, factoring, quadratic formula to find all of the roots. Okay? So let's just start and let's pick a random choice. I put 1 first, so let's just try that. So we're going to use our synthetic division. So I'm going to put a 1 in the box. We've got 1x cubed, 2x squared, negative 5x, negative 6. Bring down the 1, multiplied by 1 is 1, that's 3. Multiplied by 1 gives us 3, negative 2, negative 2, negative 8. So 1 doesn't work. So I'm going to cross that off our possible choices. So now let's try another one. Let's just go to 6. So put a 6 in the box. We've got 1, 2, negative 5, negative 6. Bring down that 1. That's 6. That's 8. That is 48. Add those. Is going to be 43 times 6. That's not going to give us 0. If we multiply 43 by 6 and then add the negative 6, it's not going to give us 0. So 6 doesn't work. So let's move on and try 2. Bring down that 1, multiply by 2 is 4, add a 6, multiply is 12, that's negative 7, multiply is negative 14, and that one's not 0 either. So that one doesn't work. Okay, let's try the 3. So we've got the 1, 2, negative 5, negative 6, bring down the 1, multiply by 3 is 3, 5, 15, that's going to be 10, 3, that's not 0 either. So 3 didn't work. Let's try negative 1. Okay, so 1, 2, negative 5, negative 6. Bring down that 1, multiply by negative 1 is negative 1, that's 1. Multiply by negative 1 is negative 1, that's negative 6. Multiply by negative 1 is 6, and 0. So we got 1. So negative 1 is a root, so I'm going to write the negative 1 down there. And then our product of linear factors is going to be x plus 1. We've got to do the opposite sign. Okay, so negative 1 worked. So now we're left with a 1, 1, negative 6. So let's continue. Let's try negative 6 next. So negative 6, and we've got a 1, 1, negative 6 now left. Bring down that 1, multiplied by negative 6 is negative 6. Add is negative 5, that's 30. That doesn't give us 0, so negative 6 doesn't work. So now let's try negative 2. So negative 2, 1, 1, negative 6. Bring down that 1, multiplied by negative 2 is negative 2. Add those is negative 1. Multiply by negative 2 is 2. That doesn't give us 0. So that one's not going to work. So now let's try negative 3. So negative 3, we're left with 1, 1, negative 6. Bring that down, that's 1. Multiply is negative 3, that's negative 2, that's 6. And that's 0. So negative 3 worked. So let's put that in one of our answers. Negative 3. We've got an x plus 3 And we're left with an x minus 2. Okay? So it looks like we actually made a mistake when we did the positive 2. The positive 2 should have worked. So let's go back and just check our math. Okay, so we brought down, I brought down a 2 instead of a 1. So multiply that, we get 2. That gives us 4. Multiplied by 2 is 8. That gives us 3. Multiplied by 2 is 6. And that gives us 0. So see, we could check our work by the end. We messed up and it actually should have been the 2. So we get an x minus 2, and 2 is our other factor. Okay, so you got to be careful. Sometimes even I make mistakes.